At 5 o'clock in the morning, someone knocks on an apartment door in Tamarac, Florida. The woman inside is 23 years old. She's been asleep. She gets up, walks to the door. She opens it. Standing there is a woman she's never met in person. A woman who flew 1,000 miles just to have this conversation. What happens next will be called many things. Self-defense, murder, a fight that got out of control. But here's what we know for certain. By the time the sun comes up, one woman is dead, stabbed dozens of times in her own home. And the other woman? She changes into the dead woman's clothes, cleans up the blood with Lysol wipes, and takes an Uber back to her hotel. This is the story of Kayla Hodgson and the woman who showed up at her door before dawn. July 13th, 2022. Tamarac Village Apartments, Florida. Kayla Hodgson worked 2 jobs. Flight attendant during the week, bartender at private events on weekends. She was 23, saving money, building a life. People who knew her described the same person. Sweet, full of energy, the kind of friend who showed up when you needed her. She just moved into her apartment. A fresh start in a quiet complex where nothing bad was supposed to happen. Around 3 p.m. that afternoon, a 911 call came through. Someone found Kayla unresponsive in her apartment. When paramedics arrived, they confirmed what the caller already feared. Kayla was dead, stabbed multiple times. The scene was violent. Blood throughout the living room. But here's what made investigators pause. No forced entry. Nothing stolen. Kayla had let her killer inside. Weeks earlier, Kayla had met someone. A man we'll call Terry. They met at a nightclub in Miami during Memorial Day weekend. They started talking, texting, seeing each other when he came to Florida for work. Terry told Kayla he was single. She had no reason not to believe him. But Terry was lying. Back in New York, he had a girlfriend, a woman who worked as a nail technician in Queens. A woman who was about to discover the truth in the worst possible way. Her name is Sakina Thompson. At the time of the murder, she was 28 years old. On Instagram, she showcased her work, intricate nail designs, business posts. She seemed to have her life together. But according to prosecutors, Thompson was jealous and insecure about her relationship with Terry. She monitored his phone, questioned where he went, who he talked to, and when she discovered Kayla, she didn't just get angry. She got on a plane. The exact moment Thompson discovered Kayla is still debated. But what we know is this. Thompson and Kayla had direct contact. According to trial evidence, Thompson found Kayla on social media. She sent messages. The conversation turned tense. Then Kayla blocked her. That block, that digital rejection, set everything in motion. Thompson knew Terry was seeing someone in Florida. Now she had a name, a face, proof. And instead of confronting Terry, instead of ending the relationship, Thompson made a different choice. She booked a flight to Fort Lauderdale. Thompson flew from New York to South Florida days before the murder. She checked into a hotel. She didn't tell Terry she was coming. According to prosecutors, she wore a hat and COVID mask to conceal her identity. She used a fake Uber account to get around. This wasn't a spontaneous trip. This wasn't a woman flying down to talk things out. This was planning. On the morning of July 13th, around 4 a.m., surveillance cameras captured Thompson arriving at Tamarac Village Apartments. She walked through the complex, found Kayla's unit, and at 5 a.m., she knocked. Kayla answered the door. What happened next is where the story splits into 2 versions. According to her testimony at trial, she went to Kayla's apartment to talk woman to woman. She wanted to discuss Terry. To clear the air, she said Kayla let her in. They talked. Then, according to Thompson, Kayla attacked her. She just starts grabbing my hair and punching me. Thompson told the jury, I'm on the floor. I'm kicking. I'm trying to get up. Thompson claims Kayla hit her with a hookah stem, then cut her stomach with glass from the hookah. Thompson said she was 2 months pregnant at the time. She told Kayla this. And when Kayla cut her, Thompson believed her baby was in danger. I killed her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across my stomach. Thompson testified. I felt like she was trying to hurt my baby. Thompson claimed she blacked out. The next thing she remembers, she was holding glass. Kayla was on the floor, dead. Prosecutors argued Thompson flew to Florida with one purpose: to kill Kayla. She showed up uninvited at 5 a.m. She concealed her identity. She used a fake Uber account. And when Kayla opened the door, Thompson attacked. Kayla was stabbed dozens of times. The medical examiner's report showed the extent of the violence. This was a fight that got out of hand. This was rage. After Kayla died, Thompson didn't call 911, didn't leave immediately. According to her own testimony, she changed out of her bloody clothes and into Kayla's outfit. She used Lysol wipes and paper towels to clean parts of the scene. She threw evidence away. Surveillance footage shows her leaving the complex around an hour after she arrived. She's wearing different clothes, walking calmly. She took an Uber back to her hotel. Later that day, she flew back to New York. When police found Kayla's body that afternoon, they had no suspects, no witnesses, no clear motive. They interviewed neighbors. Nobody heard anything unusual at 5 a.m. The complex was quiet. They analyzed Kayla's phone. That's when they found a connection to Terry. And through Terry, they found Thompson. Flight records showed Thompson had been in Florida on July 13th. Hotel records confirmed she stayed nearby. Uber records tracked her movements. On July 25th, a warrant was issued for Thompson's arrest. On August 3rd, 2022, New York police arrested Thompson in Springfield Gardens, Queens. She was charged with first-degree murder. Thompson's trial began in October 2024. It lasted weeks. The prosecution presented their evidence: the flight records, the surveillance footage, the fake Uber account, the bloody crime scene. Thompson took the stand in her own defense. She admitted killing Kayla, but claimed self-defense. The jury heard 4 hours of closing arguments. Being attacked and brutally murdered in your own home, that's terrifying. Assistant State Prosecutor Tanya Johnson told the jury, "What's even scarier is being attacked, being brutally murdered in your own home, and that person getting away with it." Thompson's defense argued there was no evidence she brought a weapon, that Kayla let her in willingly, that the fight started when Kayla attacked first. But the prosecution had one question the defense couldn't answer. Why did Thompson fly 1,000 miles at 4 a.m. to talk to a woman she'd never met? Why the disguise? Why the fake Uber account? Why didn't she call 911 after? On October 15th, 2025, the jury returned their verdict. Guilty, first-degree murder. Thompson now faces life in prison. When the verdict was read, Kayla's family cried. They hugged each other in the courtroom. "We're just so thankful that the jury was able to see the story for what it is," a family member said. Kayla did not deserve to die the way that she did. They'd waited over 3 years for this moment. 3 years of court delays. 3 years of reliving that morning. After Kayla's death, her family set up a GoFundMe. The description read, "Kayla meant so much to so many people. She was an amazing daughter, a very loved and adored big sister, niece, granddaughter, and cousin. Everyone loved her tremendously, and she was a friend to all." One friend who spoke to reporters remembered Kayla as the life of the party, with kind words for everyone. That's who Kayla was. That's what was taken. During the trial, it came out that Thompson was pregnant when she killed Kayla. 2 months. She gave birth while in custody. A son. The baby was placed with Terry's family. Thompson hasn't seen him since those first hours after birth. Think about that child. He'll grow up knowing his mother is in prison for murder, knowing he was born in the middle of this nightmare. Terry was never charged with any crime. Investigators found no evidence he knew about Thompson's plans. But his choices created the circumstances for everything that followed. He lied to both women. He kept them in separate worlds. When those worlds collided, someone died. Some people blame Terry as much as Thompson. Others say you can't hold someone responsible for another person's violence. But here's what's true. If Terry had been honest from the start, Kayla might still be alive. Thompson's defense hinged on self-defense. She claimed Kayla attacked her first, that she was protecting herself and her unborn child. But the prosecution asked the jury to consider the context. You don't fly 1,000 miles at 4 a.m. wearing a disguise if you're planning to talk. You don't use a fake Uber account if you're just having a conversation. You don't show up uninvited at 5 a.m. if you're expecting a peaceful resolution. And you don't change into the victim's clothes and clean up the scene if you genuinely acted in self-defense. The jury agreed. This case isn't really just about jealousy. It's about what happens when someone believes another person belongs to them. Thompson didn't see Terry as a person who made his own choices. She saw him as hers. And when he chose someone else, she didn't blame him. She blamed Kayla. That's the pattern in cases like this. The rage doesn't go toward the person who lied. It goes toward the stranger, the other woman, the perceived threat. Because confronting Terry would mean confronting reality. That he wasn't faithful. That their relationship was broken. That she couldn't control him. But Kayla? Kayla was easier to blame. Easier to hate. Easier to eliminate. Looking back, were there signs Thompson was capable of violence? According to prosecutors, yes. Thompson monitored Terry's movements, demanded to know where he was, became jealous and insecure when he was away. But lots of people are jealous. Lots of people check their partner's phone. The line between normal relationship anxiety and dangerous obsession isn't always clear until it's too late. Sakina Thompson is 31 years old now. She's been convicted of first-degree murder. Her sentencing hasn't been scheduled yet, but she faces life in prison. Kayla Hodgson would be 26. She should be running that cocktail lounge she dreamed about. She should be posting travel photos, living her life. But she's not. Because at 5 a.m. on a July morning, someone knocked on her door, and she made the mistake of opening it. If someone shows up at your door uninvited at an unusual hour, don't open it. Call the police if you feel threatened. If you're in a relationship and your partner demands to know your location constantly, checks your phone without permission, isolates you from friends, those aren't signs of love. They're signs of control. And if you discover your partner is cheating, the answer is never violence. The answer is walking away. Thompson had choices. She could have confronted Terry. She could have ended the relationship. She could have moved on. Instead, she flew to Florida, showed up at a stranger's door before dawn, and took a life. Now 2 families are destroyed. A child is motherless. And Thompson will likely spend the rest of her life in prison. All because she couldn't let go. Kayla's family shows up to every court hearing. They sit in the front row. They want justice. They want people to remember their daughter, their sister, their friend, not as a victim, not as the other woman, but as Kayla, a person who loved her job, who made people laugh, who had dreams. That's what this case is really about. The moment when one person decides their feelings matter more than another person's life, and the irreversible consequences that follow. If this story made you think, share it. Talk about it. Don't let Kayla's name disappear. And if you know someone in a controlling relationship, reach out. Sometimes just asking if they're okay can make all the difference. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the Moments Before Darkness for more true crime stories. We'll see you in the next one.